It seemed to me a good idea for us to include in these online services over these first few weeks just a little bit of a reflection on some of the things that God might be teaching us through this strange period of the coronavirus epidemic. And this first Sunday, I want to think a little bit about the way in which it presses upon us both the importance and the significance of community. In all sorts of ways, we're realising how much community matters to us. Suddenly, now that we are deprived of community, when we're self-isolating, when we're spending long periods at home instead of going and being at work, we're experiencing the lack of human contact, the lack of being with others, and we've realised how much that matters to us. And of course, we've also seen some of the lovely ways in which community gets expressed. The fantastic way in which corona kindness is breaking out. People reaching out to others in their local neighbourhood, making generous gestures of help and support. We've seen quite a bit of that at Christchurch already, as people have offered to help with practical tasks, sometimes offered to help with financial hardship, and so on. It's been great to see how that has happened. We've realised how interconnected we are and how much community matters to us. And yet, that's not all that we've seen. We've also seen some of the ways in which community can go wrong. We've realised that our interconnectedness also allows us to hurt and damage one another. From simply realising that those who won't abide by the social distancing measures that we're supposed to put in place put other people at risk. Or indeed the way in which people's habits when they go shopping, a greediness and a panic buying that is all about themselves, their selfishness and self-centeredness, that puts other people at disadvantage as well. So it seems as if community is really important to us. We want it so badly. And yet at times we're unable to follow through. We can be so good at it, and yet we also seem to ruin it as well. And these things make sense because God made us for community. He made us to be in relationship with one another, and He made us to be in relationship with Him. But from the very beginning, sin has got in the way. Our self-centeredness has got in the way of us being able to do community well. But of course, the great central truth of the Christian faith is that God has acted to undo that self-centeredness and to restore us to the kind of community that we were always intended for. And church is His glorious first fruits of that, as He forms us into a body. Now, there's an image of a tremendously interconnected community. The Bible should use that image for us. Arm connected to shoulder. The body of Christ, at its best, is a glorious picture for us of what community can be like. We read in Ephesians that God is uniting all things together under one head, even Jesus Christ. God's turning us into the community He wants us to be, a community that will be undamaged by sin, united to one another and united to Him. The current crisis, it seems to me, is providing us with all sorts of opportunities to work out that community life in fresh ways, that we might demonstrate sacrificial love to one another as a reflection of Christ's love for us, and that sacrificial love will pours over into others in our local community. We need God's strength to do that, but we also need God's forgiveness when we get it wrong.